Alright, hi. I'm gonna start another puzzle game away from Tactical Nexus and those sorts of games. Um, this is the Artisan and Glimmith. This is a pretty popular puzzle game right now, and I've mostly been spoiler free, but I have played 41 of the puzzles. It's a logic deduction mouse only kind of game, similar to like Shihaku, I think is what the that traditional puzzle game is called. Um, but I've been playing this, and I'm really big into like Minesweeper likes. I 100%ed Tametsi, if you're familiar with that game, and as well as like Sudoku and these sort of mouse-only grid-based logic puzzles. So I'm gonna erase my save and just restart. I didn't get that far, and I got to a point where I was like, okay, I really like these puzzles. I want to record these and explain my logic, just because I think it'll be fun. Compared to like Tactical Nexus, I'll be flailing a lot less, I think. Simply because I think I'm more used to these kinds of games. Not to say I'm kind of tooting my own horn. I'm not good at these. I'm just gonna put that out there. But I definitely like these kinds of games. I've been finding it really fun. So let's start. So this is the kind of the map. I really like the art in this game as well. The presentation definitely keeps me coming back. But you can drag around and zoom, and then these are the puzzles on these little altars. So the goal of this game is we're restoring these pieces of glass on grids. We need to fill the entire grid with certain shapes or other rules. And there's these different colors. You can see every region is a new color, but these basic puzzles, we need to make regions of squares to fill in the whole puzzle. Can obviously erase, undo, restart. This one we need to make these L pieces. This one we need to make these 2x2 or 2x1. And some of the logic with this is, for example, this has only one opening, so we need to have a piece coming out, and this creates a completed region. We can also rotate shapes, and later we'll be mirroring as well. We can apply the same logic here, and here, and here, and here. Again, the same logic, and then you can see that. I'll be going pretty quick on these because they're not too difficult. On this one, you can see we can change the color palette, where there's like a default palette. I'll just be using the default palette. I don't care too much about the puzzles. There's also these secret puzzles that only get activated when you clear a certain number of puzzles. These mirrors, or these stained windows, designate the areas. You can see we've cleared 5 out of 7. And yeah, we can use mirrors, so this is this L, but we can mirror it like that. Then we need to have a piece there, piece there, piece there, and piece there. You'll also see there's these difficulty numbers. We're up to difficulty 2. Wow. And we can also create these metal borders to mark logic. So when I was playing by myself, I was kind of just going through, kind of like I have been. But on some of the harder puzzles, I want to be more slow and appreciate the puzzles. For example, here, we need to have these 3x3s, or 3x2s. We are forced to have one here because of this gap. And we can do shift-click to mark the whole region. Similarly here, if we add this, we can't fill this region in, so we need to do this. Same logic here, here, and here, and here. So once you get past the first few steps, a lot of the puzzles just fill themselves in. You can see we've cleared the window. We get another one of these tutorial texts. And now the bonus puzzles get unlocked. And if we clear them, we can gild the window for a 100% clear. This one has a few more options, but you can see if we did this, this gets empty, and you can't fill it. So I think we need to do this, and then yeah, it fills itself in. And I think there's one more puzzle. You can see, you can drag the camera around to find secret puzzles. Here's the other secret puzzle. Here we have these corner pieces. We either need to do this or this. But if we do this, then we need to fill this in, and can't fill that in. So we're forced to do this. And again, can't do this. So we need to do this. And I'm going to be saying do this a lot. Because I don't know how to commentate these. So sorry about that. But yeah, hopefully that'll get better as I keep doing these. There is one more puzzle you can see, and I think it's under here. Yes, so here's a three difficulty puzzle. These are these hollow, incomplete squares. To fill this corner in, we need to do this. And as well as we can put this as part of the region, since we'll be leaving one of these empty. Same rule here. Same rule here. And this needs to fill in like this, since this is occupied by here. So we can do this. And same logic for the rest of them. So now we've gilded it, we've completed the Glimmith bridge. I'm gonna try to do... You can see there's a lot of game. But, you know, this is one region, this is one region. I'm gonna plan on doing a full region before moving on to the next one. You can switch colors with the scroll wheel. I don't care too much. Shapes can either be 3x1s or L piece. These need to be 3x1s to fill in the 2x1 spots. We need an L piece here, and L piece there. We can do tab for color and border drawing, just color or borders. Also notes. I'll probably be doing this at some point where I'll just like... I'm sad you can't change the color of the notes. I feel like that's an obvious thing to do, but I can just do like... You know. Anyway. I'll be doing this later, probably, on some of the harder puzzles to keep track. I did that a lot in Temetsi. Anyway. This region needs that filled in. And this region needs to have at least one of these squares, because this can't fit a 4x1. If we do it here, how do we fill this region in? So we need to put the square here. This needs to fill in, and then solve itself. Yeah, it also says we can complete the panel in border drawing if we want to. I don't think I like that playstyle, but whatever. One thing that helps with the logic is identifying similar shapes. So these have 2x1s, these have 2x1s. Here we can't... Well, actually we can conclude here needs to be a 3x1 because we can't fit in a whatever else. Let me find an example. I don't know if there's an example. I was gonna say like sometimes you can fill in partial shapes and then fill in the rest later. But I think this one's kind of clear. So this needs to be a 3x1. This needs to be a S 3x1. Okay, here's an example. Not really. This actually... I'm gonna shut up about that until it actually pops up. But this needs to be an S, because if it's a 3x1, we can't fill that in. 3x1, S. Okay, here we go. So, this can either be a 3x1 or a 4. We need to fill this in at least. This one needs to be a 4, so it fills here. This can be a 4. This is a 3. I guess this one can... No, that's still a 3x1, because if we do a 4, then... can't fill that in. And then that fills itself. So, Yeah, I'm pretty bad at explaining the logic. I think I just play a little too fast. Um, Here's another rule, another core rule. Um, Borders must always separate two different regions, so we can't put a 2x2 here since these borders are touching. So this needs to be 4x4 with the 2x2, and this can't be that same shape. This is the border touching, so this needs to be 4 different regions. Each puzzle has a single unique solution, though I think some of them can be mirrored, so technically wrong, but whatever. This one, it fills in itself if you start from here, but as you can see, there's none of the L pieces, which is kind of funny. And yeah, puzzles can always be solved with logic, which I really appreciate. No guessing. I'll probably be doing some trial and error, because sometimes you need to, like, go down a path and see if it works or not, that's still logic, but yeah. So here's that partial shape thing. So here's an actual use case for that. No, it's not. So I keep lying. We need to put a 1x2 here. We need to fill this in with a L. Same thing here. Same thing here. And then this one can be L's. So still no 1x2s. I haven't had to use the partial shape logic. This one's interesting. Can't have a 2x2 here. Or a 3x3 like this, because you can't have them touching the region. We can start with a partial shape in the bottom left, because we'll need to fill this in eventually. If we do a 3x3, if we do a 3x3 here, we can't fill this in. If we do a 2x2, we can't fill that in. So this needs to be a 2x2. And then because it's symmetrical, I think the same thing applies to these corners. Then these need to be 2x2s, and then these are 3x3s. There's one more puzzle right there. Yeah, so this is what it's talking. This is the whole partial rule I've been trying to explain the whole time. So you can do this validly or this validly. There's potential shapes you can make. But we can see the common 1x2s here. So we know this needs to be filled in. And then this also needs to be filled in because all of them have a corner. Then it's either connecting there or there, so we can block this out. Same L logic here. It is either connecting there or there, so we can block this out. Same logic here, but we don't know the L. I guess we do know it can't go up here, because then this doesn't get filled in. So this needs to be an L. This can go down. This needs to be an S, because if we go down, we can't fill this in. This needs to go out here. Since this gets blocked, this region needs to become an S. This needs to be an S. And then this needs to be an L. And finally, we have an L here. And there's one more secret puzzle. It's this one. I already did that one. Where art thou? Down there. No. Ah, there we go. How do I see that? It's like that. Yeah, there's some perspective trickery. You can't rotate the camera, which makes it a little challenging to find this. How do I do this? I can zoom. What? This is funny. Oh, there we go, there we go. So there's this little pocket. And we get a four puzzle. 4 difficulty puzzle. So we know this needs to be a partial shape, partial shape, partial shape. And I'm just identifying all the corners, or all the, you know, terminal ends. So we can just naturally fill all these in. There we go. Now we can start filling in some blanks. So this needs to be filled in. And then this actually doesn't work because this region, that terminal rule I was using doesn't apply here because this region is created by 2 partial regions. So I can connect this. And now that lets me put one here, I think, since the only way to fill this in is either another region or doing this. So I guess I can't do another region like this because this gets blocked off. So this needs to go out. Can finalize that region. And finalize this border. So this has to be true. Then we have this 2x1 space here. We can't go down because we created a 2x1 there. So I think we do this. And then let's see. This needs to be to fill this button, we need to have a 3x1 and a 3x1. Meaning we need to have a 3x1 there. Which then makes this part tricky, because then we have this empty space, since this is a 6 long one. Let's see. I'm gonna just restart. I might have been a little too presumptuous with how I filled everything in. These all need to be true. This is all correct. So this needs to go up. This is a... How do I do it? This is a finished region. That's not finished. I think this is true. Because if we do this, we can't fill these in. So these must be true. Meaning this must be true. If this goes up, then we can't fill this in. Or if this goes down, so these are finished, we need a region there, and we need to fill this in. These are complete, and there we go. So we just needed a 3x1 there. Now we've gilded the Overlook. Here it tells about the gilded. So next it branches off into new mechanics. There's 3 different new mechanics. I'm going to start over here on the left, which is where I started before I deleted my save, where you have these rose windows. But I'll just leave that for now and continue that section next time. So yeah, thanks for watching.